It's Dale D'Antoni here. Welcome to the Sofa Sessions. D'Antoni, Wayne.
The only people I really bodyguarded for that I didn't like was I bodyguarded for a couple of politicians in the Seattle area.
Oh, okay.
And I will tell you, when I realized what politics really is, was bodyguarding for politicians. Because you sit in the rooms, you got to be in the rooms with them when they're talking all this propaganda they're about to throw out into the media. And it's real. They're sitting in a room with a group of people thinking about what they're going to put out as the next, statement on whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, we're going to stage this and we're going to make sure that we make sure we go this area and do this and do this because we want to make sure we're visible and we want to make sure people see us down at the chop, the areas.
That's crazy.
It's like
just like choreographed almost everything is.
It's all rehearsed.
Yeah.
And even I will say this, the mayor of Portland, he wanted to go into I was down there for the courthouse riots. Like we were on the fence, like at the courthouse while it was just getting utterly ransacked by rioters. And he's like, I want to go down there. And I want it to, if there's any police violence against me, I want you to allow it to happen.
What? That is insane.
He said, we need to make sure that they see that I'm one of the people. So don't stop them. Don't identify yourself in any way, shape, or form. Literally, if I'm going to be killed, stop me from being killed, and that is it. I'm not even shitting you.
Yeah, I believe you.
It's like, what? You want to do what? For what? For why?
Yeah.
All for political narrative. Just to show that he was with the people and maybe he'll get some votes out of it. And then literally there's backdoor meetings where he's staging all of this shit. And it just, that kind of stuff just, it irks. And he got a full face full of pepper spray that night.
Did he really?
He did. And I allowed it. And then he started, he was like, oh, this sucks. I'm like, yeah, it's pepper spray. You said not dying.
Yeah.
But my buddy was watching the news that night, and I do have my values, right? So I will represent. It was during all the mask things, right? So it was very strict. You guys have to wear masks.
Yeah.
So I wore a skull buff, like one of those boat buffs that comes up above your face and like covers your whole neck.
Yeah.
And it's red, white, and blue with a skull on it. So it makes it look like it's just a skull face.
Yeah.
And then I wore my buddy's Texas Builders hat. And that's what I'm wearing out in the middle of a Portland riot. My buddy's watching the news, and there's the mayor, and there's me right behind him. And he's like, bro, he's like, you made the news. I was like, yeah, nobody knew who the hell we were. We're just standing there behind him,
Yeah.
But it's just, it's dirty. They stage things, they do things specifically for political gain and to have an image out there, and then they turn around in a closed door meeting and they're like, with 50 cops, they're like, hey, make sure no cops are visible, but don't let us die. Like, what?
Crazy. Yeah.
Like, people don't understand, just the sheer, just I call it fraud. It's deception.
Oh yeah.
That goes on. And as a bodyguard, you just have to deal with it. Because it's rough stuff.
Yeah.
But in NDAs, they exist for any celebrity. I think that all the ones that we currently protect, I think they all have NDAs that you can't disclose their information. But politicians, though, is a little bit different.
Yeah.
They don't usually do the NDAs because I don't know why.
Maybe they're not smart enough.
Maybe. I honestly think there's probably a political reason behind it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we had to have protection or maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But they do have cops.
Yeah.
As they're going out. That was the biggest thing in Seattle. That was probably my biggest hatred of that job was they're going out and they're cursing the police for being, racist.
Yeah.
While they have 50 cops who they've cleverly disguised as regular people.
Yeah.
All over them. If shots had popped off, you would have seen 50 freaking cops swarm that place.
Dang.
It's all image.
Yeah. If you were bodyguarding like a political person like that, you could almost do like insider trading, because you would know what they were going to do before they did it.
You would.
Yeah.
It's so funny that you mentioned that.
Because
a lot of our politicians do that shit.
Yeah.
It's, Joe Rogan's talking about it on his podcast a lot too. It's the shit that politicians get away with, man.
Yeah.
It's absurd. But like I've said, I'll do a lot of dumb shit for money. So, you know, we charge them astronomical rates and they pay it because they will not get harmed. Like that's their biggest fear, is that someone will harm them. So they will pay out the ass to have a cop.
Got my soul in a choke, I feel like I can't breathe. Keep my foot on the gas, my life in full speed. Feel like I